Yeah,
Yes.
as I said earlier, I'm going to present something about the journals and publication and metrics. And myself, I'm a associate professor and working as a assistant associate professor in Kalasalingam Academy of Research and Education. Formerly, it is known as Kalasalingam University. And I'm also working as an editor, language editor in Polish Journal of Management Studies. It is a Q2 journal. Okay. And of course, you know much about the construction of your paper. I hope you come across many things related to that, constructing your paper and uh, the method of arranging your paper, everything you know that. But I know something about the expectation from the journal side, from the editor's point of view. So in their perception, I'm sharing you something because you know I have roughly I have edited around 400 plus articles related to management studies and social sciences. So based on my experience, I will tell you what is the expectation of editor. So in the first part, introduction, instead of writing elaborate something about your research, you just focus on the purpose of you just highlight something related to the purpose of your research in the first part of your introduction, and try to find out the objective in the introduction itself. And the last part of the introduction, you just summarize the essence of your rest of the paper. Okay, then literature review, you just collect the literature review from the recent works. Don't collect the literature review from the old one. You just try to collect the papers recent one, and try to collect the papers from Scopus database. So if you are going to publish your papers in some reputed journals, for instance, if you are going to publish your papers in Scopus, Web of Science, and SCI, SSCI, and SCIE, so these kind of journals, they won't consider the papers from the junk journals. So I hope you know what is junk journals. The journal is not indexed in any database. So those, if you collect materials from, if you collect the papers from those database, it will not useful to you for the successful publication in the reputed journals. So try to collect materials from some good database like Scopus, Elsewhere, and of course Web of Science. So you can collect the sources from that databases. And design methodology approach, it is nothing but, you know, we adopt some kind of methodology, we adopt some kind of theories to substantiate our study. So in that case, you can adopt some methodology. Without methodology, without any design, your work will not get fulfillment. So try to adopt some good methodology. In case of literary studies, we can adopt theories, and in case of social sciences, we may adopt some qualitative and quantitative methods. And statistical, you may adopt some statistical tools. And in case of scientific research, you may implement a new method, new approach, or a new tool you can use, or new algorithm you may design. So those things you can adopt in the methodology section. And findings, so of course it's your result. So after the analysis, after the design, after the methodology of your research, you can get some findings. So those findings should be discussed in the next part. So findings, it is your result. So your result should be discussed with studies related to the studies related to your area. So it should be discussed with other studies. For example, the results of your study should be discussed with the results of other studies. So in that case, you will get similarity, or in that case, you may get some comparison or contrast in the discussion part. So in that case, you can highlight your study. Your study is unique. Your study is novel. Your study is original. So discussion part. So the main core part of your research in this area, the one is methodology and another one is discussion. So while seeing your paper, the editor will see only three things. The one is abstract. So while reading your abstract itself, we can assess whether your paper is good or not. and the methodology, what methodology you have adopted. So that will be, that is a very crucial thing. The author, the editor will seriously view on it. And the next one, the third one is conclusion. So the conclusion part is very important. Conclusion part, how you are summarizing, what is the result. So everything will be in the conclusion part. So that should be mentioned in the originality and value of your study. Then the last one is limitation. So every study, there is some limitation. We cannot fix the research is over. So the research may continue, research may get upgradation, research may go further. So those things you have to put it in your limitation part. So if you give, if you specify the limitation of your study, it will be very useful to the future researcher. So these are the major elements of constructing papers. Of course, you may know that, but I know if you are not clear with a point, you can discuss with me at the later part of the session. So these are the major parts. The editors, perception. So they will consider all these things. So the subheadings may differ. For example, in the literary studies, instead of methodology, we may adapt some other title. So instead of the findings, we may give some other title. So the subtitles may vary, but the concept, the core construction of your paper should be spin around this area. So this is for construction of your manuscript. The next one. So I'm ready with my paper. Of course, I have prepared everything pakka. Then I'm going to submit my paper to the journals. So this is the thing you have to be very careful. For example, if you are in a preliminary stage of research, or if you are a stalwart in research, so that is known only by you. So based on your research, based on the quality of work, you can choose the channel. You can choose the journal from Q4 to Q1, or from the Scopus to SCIE. So based on your work, based on the quality of your work, you have to choose the journal. So before choosing the right journal, you should be aware of the predatory journal or the clown journals. Of course, recently UGC has listed some clown journals. And the predatory journal, what is predatory and clown journals? So predatory journal is nothing but they simply receive the money. They simply receive the money without sending it to the peer review. They publish it. So they concentrate more on your money. They won't consider your research. Even in some predatory journals, they won't do the final editorial process. Before publishing it in the online, the journal should modify it to the journal's template. Even they do not follow that in some predatory journals. So they are very focused on your money. They will not concentrate on your on the quality of your work. So the predatory journal is not only in a junk side, but it also there in a Scopus. It's sad to say. There are some Scopus indexed journals. They are also in a predatory list. So those journals you can find out from the link I have given. So I have given you 2 links. So by using these 2 links, you can find out whether these journals are in the predatory list or not. So what will happen if you publish your papers in a predatory journals? It's totally a loss to us. The thing is, they will publish your papers in online, so it will be visible in the journal site, but it will not be reflected in the Scopus database. So there is no use. For example, if there is any quality metrics assessed by your institution, or if you go for if your work should be quality 1, it will not be reflected in the Scopus database. It's a loss of money and it's loss of your work. So before submitting your paper, whether these journals are at the predatory list or not. So these are the journal link. These are the links to identify the predatory journals. And clown journal. What is clown journal? Clown journal is nothing but they simply imitate the original journal. For example, some journals are having some good reputation in the academic. So they imitate whatever they have. Slightly they change a single word or single sentence or a single letter in a journal's site. So we know that this is the original journal, but it is not an original journal. They simply modify something. They may have even sometimes they may have a ISBN and ISSN number same. So they is also gaining money from the researchers, and they publish their articles. But after publishing only, the authors can identify whether these journals are not in the original database of UGC or Scopus. So researchers, please aware that whether these journals are Scopus index or not, or these journals are the original databases of Scopus, SCI, and SCIE. And one more thing, there are another one tips without going into the journals, these links. You can also identify the predatory journals in the Scopus database. So once you got your journal name, you just put it in the Scopus peer review. So after searching it in the Scopus peer review, you can get the journal's link. So after entering into the journal site, you can identify that content coverage. There is one option called content coverage in Scopus database. So if you go into that, the particular journal publish more than 1,000 papers in a year. More than 1,000 papers in a year. So it is not possible at all publishing more than 1,000 papers in a year. It's a really tough task. Maybe some journals, some good journals are publishing, but most of the predatory journals are publishing more than 1,000 or even 8,000 papers also they are publishing. So what their focus, they simply get money from the authors and they are publishing their papers. So the thing is, try to avoid predatory journals before publishing, before submitting even. So that is very important. Then how can you identify whether these journals, I'm insisting you reported journals. So how can you identify whether it is Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4? So simply, here is a link. SIMACO impact factor ranking is there. So if you can use this link to identify the Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 ranking of the journals. So Q4 is the least one, and Q1 is in the first rank. So based on the quality of your work, based on of course everywhere is a quality one, but you may know better than me. So based on the work, you can submit your journal. You can submit your paper to the Q4 or Q3 or Q2 or Q1 journal. And based on your research area, you can identify the journal and you can submit it. And next one, Scopus, SCI, SCCI, and SCIE. So Scopus is index. These are Scopus, SCI, SSCI, SCIE. These are the indexing agencies, and SCI, SCCI, SCIE are giving impact factor to the journals. And Scopus is having many journals indexed. So you can identify whether these journals are indexed in Scopus or not. Even in near future, UGC will shift to the Scopus database, and they list most of the UGC CALIST journals from the Scopus database. So try to publish your articles in Scopus. And if you are from the science domain, you can publish your papers in SCI and SCIE. SSCI is for Social Science Citation Index. So if your background is from social science, you can focus on SSCI, Social Science Citation Index. SCI stands for Science Citation Index. SCIE stands for Science Citation Index Expander. So based on your area of research, you can publish your papers in these indexing journals. And next one, so there are some famous publishers. The publishers are Wiley, Sage Publications, Taylor and Francis, Springer, Emerald Publishing, Frontiers, MDP Publishers. So here, for instance, if you go for some quality, some good journals from SCI, SSCI, SCIE, the review duration, the minimum review duration will take 6 months. So once you submit your paper, so you can expect your publication probably a year after. So the quality work and the quality journal will take minimum of 1 year. But in some cases, in some journals like some publishers like MDPI, Frontiers, and Emerald, they publish little fast. For example, if you publish some papers in MDPI, they complete all the review process, and all the formalities will get over within 3 months. But they do have SCI impact factor journals. Even Frontiers and the Emerald also having some impact factor journals. So before that, before submitting your papers, you can find out their minimum and maximum duration of application from their websites. In my experience, Wiley and Sage, Taylor and Francis, they take more time. But it's up to the journal, so you can browse it from the journal site. So these are the major famous publishers. The next one, successful publication. So I'm telling it my experience. We just focus on recent trends. What is recent trends right now? Actually, I published one paper in the year 2018 that is related to Education 4.0. Now this paper is getting momentum. This paper is getting more citations. After this lockdown, that particular paper related to Education 4.0, it is related to online education, online teaching, technology, enhanced learning. So like these kind of things will all together in that paper. So I published that paper in 2018 of I think November. But right now this paper is getting momentum, and I'm getting more citation for that paper. So likewise, if you focus, instead of writing the traditional method of concentrating on the old methodology or something, you just focus more on recent trends. For management studies or social sciences, people are doing some quantitative research. In that area, instead of using only SPSS and AMAS tool, you may concentrate on something like Fuzzy algorithm. Even some management discipline, they are using Fuzzy algorithm to analyze their data. So likewise, you can adopt some recent trends in your research and try to prefer a multidisciplinary research. So multidisciplinary research is very important, even if you are applying for any grants from the funding agencies. They see more things from your multidisciplinary area. So instead of focusing only on ELT, for example, myself, I'm from English background, English literature and language studies. So instead of focusing on ELT, English language teaching, there are plenty of research available in English language teaching. So instead of focusing on ELT, you may focus on English as a business lingua franca. We can say that as a business English or something. So the English for specific purpose. So in that case, we can divert. So if you divert in that area, English for business lingua franca, you may concentrate on both area, English as well as the business competitive edge. So try to upgrade your research to the multidisciplinary. Don't concentrate, don't narrow down your area into the particular one. Try to broaden your research area. Try to do it in multidisciplinary way. So in that case, you may have another one question. My area of research is English language or English studies or social sciences or science discipline. How can I switch over to another discipline? It's very simple. You just do some collaborative work with any other researcher. For instance, there is a website, ResearchGate. Of course, you know that. So in the ResearchGate, you can invite, based on your requirement, you can invite the the core researchers around the world. So if they are interested, they will collaborate with you. Your collaborative work will always get success. So I have some good experience of collaboration. Mostly I do collaborative work with Europeans. So in that case, they are giving more guidelines of recent trends in research. So collaboration will always work. And one more thing, if your collaborator, if your co-author is having good impact factor, is having good citations, I mean H index and I10 index, your paper will move a little bit smoothly in some good reputed journals. So there is no doubt, if your co-author is having some good profile, even if you are having some good profile, if your co-author is not a good one, so in that case also it will go further. So try to do some collaborative work with other discipline researcher. So it will be useful to you to get good citations, as well as you will also promote to the next level to do receiving funds from the funding agencies to do effective projects. And use recent citation, as I already discussed in the construction of paper construction. Use recent literature, use recent literature review, use recent citations. That is very important. If you are using recent citation, it will be more useful to you. And may think about scientific diplomacy. Yeah, what is scientific diplomacy? So scientific diplomacy is nothing but if you are going to publish your paper in some particular journal, for instance, if you are going to publish your paper in Sage publication, for example, Sage, there is a journal Language and Literature. So if you are going to publish your paper in Sage publication, from the Language and Literature or from any journals from Sage publishing, you can cite some papers related to your study. So if you cite some papers from that particular publisher, it will give impact to the journal. So this is what scientific diplomacy. Even in some case, if you cite some of the papers from the editorial board members' papers, it will give some good. You can also maintain some good diplomacy with that particular journal. So try to cite some good papers related to your study from the journal that you are going to submit. And one more thing, and very important thing, please avoid citation from the junk journals. So if the journal is not listed in any reputed database, try to avoid it. Don't cite those kind of journal, those kind of articles from the junk journals. So junk journals is always dangerous. Don't prefer it, even for citing it. Okay. The next one, impact factor. So here everyone is thinking about impact factor, and most of the mails we are receiving, this journal is having 6 impact factor, this journal is having 12 impact factor. Dear friends, don't believe that the impact factor journal will not send message to you. Even if you send any request to the impact factor journals, they won't reply us. So this is the fact. So how the impact factor journals will send message to you? It's obviously not. So impact factor journal, they maintain some good reputation. They will not send message to you. So then what is impact factor? There are many ways to assess the impact, but we follow some quality metrics. So that quality metrics is assured by Thomson Reuters ISI, especially from journal citation reports. So journal impact factor. So original, no, I'm just telling. Journal impact factor was created by Thomson Reuters. It is known as ISI, and founded by Eugene Caulfield in 1958. And you can find out the impact factor of the journals from the journal citation reports. So you can find the journal's impact factor from this one. So other than JCR, if you have any impact factor, that is also clowned one, of course. Otherwise, they have the impact factor. They assess the impact factor in different way. So these are the impact factor: SCI, SSCI, SCIE. So these are the impact factors published by JCR, Journal Citation Reports. So the journal impact factor is defined as the number of citations in the current year to items published in the previous 2 years. So how they calculate divided by the total number of items published in those same 2 years. So how they calculate the impact factor of the journal? Simply, they taken into account of last 2 years citations of the published papers, and they are dividing into those same 2 years. This is how they are calculating. So every 3 years, the citation is getting updated. So it is that also you can identify from the below link. I have given you the link. So by using that link, you can find out whether the citations and impact factor of the journal. So please, friend, don't trust that impact factor journal will not send you the emails, messages. If you send message to the impact factor journal, they will you may get long time to get reply. So be aware of the junk journals again. Okay, the next one, Hutch Index. So here it's getting momentum. People are knowing. People are very enthused to know what is Hutch Index, what is I-10 index, and many other things. So here, Hutch Index is assessed in two main things. One is Google Scholar's Hutch Index, and another one Scopus Hutch Index. So here, the Hutch Index is a metric to measure the productivity and impact of the published works of scholars. Hutch Index is a metric to measure the productivity and impact of the published work of scholars. So you are publishing your paper. So after publishing your paper, if some of the authors cite your paper for their work, then your citation will increase. So stage by stage, when your citation is increasing, obviously your Hutch Index will also increase. So this is the productivity and the impact of published work of scholars. Then Hutch Index was developed by George Heidrich. So he is the person who developed this method of metrics, Hutch Index, George Heidrich. The Hutch Index takes into account two things. Two things you have to note down. One is researchers' productivity. Researchers' productivity is nothing but the number of publications, number of papers you are producing, you are publishing, whatever it is. Then impact of that researcher's publication. How many citations the researcher's publication received. As I said earlier, so you are publishing a paper. So after publishing a paper, someone will cite your paper. Someone will cite your paper. Someone will substantiate your work for their work. So this is how your citation will increase. So once your citation is getting increased, your Hutch Index will also get increased. So how it will increase? For example, if you publish one paper and you receive one citation, then you will get one Hutch Index. And next time you publish two papers and you receive two citations. So next time, so two citations. First paper, one citation. Second paper, two citations. Then your Hutch Index will be 2. The next time you are publishing a third paper, 2 citations. So first paper is having 1 citation, second paper is 2 citation, and third paper is having 2 citations. So which means again your Hutch Index will be 2. It will not go up to 3. If your third paper attracts third citation, your Hutch Index will increase to 3. So I'm just telling it orally. You cannot understand very perfectly. Here you can find out the diagram. Here you can find out the graph. So here you can identify it very clearly. So the author has published 6 papers, 6 articles, and total number of citation is 21. So the total number of citation is 21. Paper is 6, but the Hutch Index is 3. So you may think that here citation is 21, and why this Hutch Index is very 3. So here that you can identify from the graph. So here, this one is article number. So the first article receives first citation here. First citation, first citation, first paper. That is H index 1. Sorry. So first citation, first paper, H index 1. Second paper, citation is increasing to 2. So second paper, second citation. Then it is H index 2. Then third paper is going more than 3. It is receiving 4 citations. It is receiving 4 citations. Then H index 3. Then again, fourth paper, it is not receiving 4 citations. It is receiving only 3 citations. So it is not increasing. So again here, like that, the paper is not receiving citation. The paper is not receiving the citation according to its number of publication. So this is how the H index is calculated for Scopus. So this is how the H index is calculated for Scopus. The Scopus calculated H index based on your number of publications and the citations. Okay. So doubts you can ask me at last. People may have more doubts in that area. And another one, Google Scholar citation, Google Scholar H index. So how Google Scholar is calculating H index? So it is very quite easy. Google Scholar is updating its H index for every 5 citations of your work. For example, if you publish 5 papers, and 2 papers are having 5 H index. I mean, first paper is having five citations, and second paper is having 5 citations. Then your H index will be 2. Based on the citation, based on the number of citations, based on the citations, Google Scholar is giving H index. So every 5 citations of each work, they are giving 1 H index. So if you publish 5 papers and all the 5 papers are having 5 citations, then your H index will be 5. So this is for Google Scholar. So Google Scholar and Scopus, there is a little bit difference concerning H index. The next one, I10. So next one is I10 index. I10 index is nothing but the number of publication with at least 10 citations. So if your research paper receives 10 citations, that particular work will have you will have one I10 index. So I10 index is especially for Google Scholar. It is not there for Scopus. So it is only for Google Scholar. So here, so if you publish one paper and it receives 10 citations or more, you will receive one I10 index. And if you receive more than 5 citations, more than 10 citations for each paper, that will count accordingly. For example, 2 papers receives 10 each citations, then you will get a I10 index of 2. So this is how the is calculating in Google Scholar. So this is what metrics followed by Google Scholar and Scopus. So this is how they are calculating the metrics also. So this is my experience. I have received from my own experience, and I'm sharing with you. So finally, there is no way to get experience except through your experience. So this is my thing. Before finishing it, you should discuss more with your co-authors. Then only you can get many things. I mean, co-author, in that case, I'm just telling, if you are in a budding stage of research, you just do research with any experts from Western countries, especially. I don't underestimate the power of Indians, but the thing is, they are updating very fast than us. That is why I'm telling. So in that case, you just collaborate with some Western people, then you will gain more experience. And I have developed my quality of research. So you just try to do that if you are a budding researcher. And of course, if you are senior in research, we just try to encourage the budding researcher to work efficiently. Then the both will get success. Obviously younger generation will work very fast, so we can work together and get some quality work in near future. So this is what my experience I'm sharing with you. So if you are having any queries, any questions, you can ask me.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
It was very nice to listen to your presentation. It was very informative. Sir, I want to ask something. How can we know who cited our paper? Do we have to upload it somewhere?
Yeah.
Like we have
Yeah.
some kind of, sites where like academia.edu, where we get to upload our papers, and we also
Yeah.
constantly get messages like these people have seen your research paper, and these people are they want to cite your paper. So does it work like those like it works with Scopus and other kind of papers?
Yeah. This is the thing. This is very important thing. So I have published my papers, but no citation I have received. What to do? So it's very simple. You have published your papers. So if you, again, I'm just telling, if you publish your paper in a junk journal, they won't promote your research. So if you publish your paper in a Scopus or impact factor journals, so impact factor journal, I'm just telling you again, don't go with the mails you receive. So I'm not mentioning that one. So impact factor journals from SCI, SSCI, SCIE. So if you publish your paper in these journals, they will promote your work. They may have open access, and most of the researcher will look into your paper. So this is one thing. So if you publish your papers in some good journal, the journal will promote your work. The journal will promote your research. This is one thing. Without your work, without your contribution of promoting your work, they will work on it. This is one case. And another one, so after publishing your work, you just sign in into the Google Scholar. This is the first thing. This is the preliminary thing. So you just sign in into the Google Scholar and try to, obviously, if you sign into the Google Scholar and upload your paper manually, so once you upload manually, so next time they will extract your publication automatically. So maybe it takes some time. It takes 3 months or 2 months time. So after publication, so if you do not want to wait, you can, after publishing, you can immediately upload your papers in Google Scholar. So that is what I'm doing. So after publishing of every paper, once I receive the publication letter or publishing from the journal site, I instantly, if it is open access, okay. So if it is not open access, don't publish it without the knowledge of the publisher. So if it is open access, you can upload your papers in Google Scholar, and there are, as you said, Academia and SSRN and ResearchGate. So ResearchGate is a good one. So I'm using it. I'm using ResearchGate many years. So you can upload your papers in ResearchGate, SSRN, and even you can circulate from your friends circle, or if you maintain any websites, you can publish it. So you have to promote your work from different sites like ResearchGate, Google Scholar, SSRN, Academia, even LinkedIn. Also, people are circulating, and even you can also circulate your work in WhatsApp groups. It's up to you. So this is how your paper will get attraction towards a researcher, and you will get more citations.
Yes. Sir, I have one more question. Sir, nowadays, we are getting, every day we are getting new UGC listed journals. There are new lists coming, one day or the other. So, sir, what do we do with that? Because it keeps on changing. And, I had published one of my papers in a journal. At that time, it was UGC listed. But after 2-3 months, it was removed
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah,
So, what do we do
that,
then?
Yeah, that's the case. That's the case. That's why I'm telling you, in very shortly, UGC will receive the journals from the Scopus database. So they are not going to list out the journals randomly. So why you want to go to the UGC CALIST? So instead of going to the UGC CALIST, you just publish your paper in some good journal. So what is happening now? What is happening? UGC CAR has listed many journals, but what we are doing, we are focusing on the publishing part. If I submit paper within a month, I have to publish. So some reputed journal will not publish within a month. It is not at all possible. So don't go for. I'm not insisting that you don't go for all UGC CALIST journals. There are many good journals, but what we are focusing, we need to submit paper and we need to get acceptance letter within 48 hours. We need to get the acceptance letter. So these kind of journals maybe there in the list for a 1 month or 2 month time. So if you are in fast track mode, UGC will be also in the fast track mode to remove it. Okay. So try to don't concentrate on some journals dealing like this. You just submit it to some good quality journals. This is the thing we are lacking behind from the Western people. They concentrate only on two things. Even I'm just doing some research with Europeans. They are not publishing their papers in Q4 and Q3. They're concentrating only on Q2 and Q1 journals, and they are concentrating only on SCA journals. But now what we are doing, easy publishing. So what is easy publishing? 2,000 rupees, 48 hours publications. So don't do that. UGC CALIST also having some good journals. You just check whether these journals, for example, UGC CALIST is listed many journals. You just pick some journal and you just check whether it is in the Scopus database or not. If it is in the Scopus database, you just proceed it. And before Scopus, you just analyze whether it is in the predatory or not. Even some Scopus journals also there in the predatory list. You just check that too. So after checking everything, just publish your paper in that journal. If you publish, UGC will not remove that journal because that journal is really a perfect one.
Sir, I also want to ask a question.
Sir,
Yes.
may I ask a question? Sir, the question is, just now you mentioned Q1 and Q2. Sir,
Yeah.
I also searched one journal and there was also mentioned this thing about Q1 and Q2. But somehow I couldn't get it. Can you elaborate me? What does it mean, Q1 and Q2?
Yeah, it is a SIMACO ranking. It's a SIMACO ranking, international ranking.
Okay.
Based on the journal ranking, they are giving ranks Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. That you can identify from the SIMACO ranking that I have given you in the PPT link.
Sir, is it possible that the one journal is having Q1 and Q2 both the ranking?
Yeah, it is possible because if there is a multidisciplinary journal, that
Yes.
particular journal may have the Q2 in management and Q1 in social sciences.
Okay, so Q1 means it is in social sciences and Q2 means
yeah, exactly. So in that case, you may think that sir, you are telling you are asking us to publish in Scopus and SCI journals, but they are asking more money. What to do? So you don't think that all the Scopus and the SCA journal will not receive money. I have published. There are some journals. There are some good journals. They won't get even single penny for publishing.
Sir, somebody told me that.
For instance, recently I have published one paper. I got the acceptance from the one journal. It is from the Romania. It is running from the Romanian University. It is in Q2. So for instance, I'm telling you, I submitted the paper in the month of February. So after the crucial review process, it got accepted in the month of July. So I submitted the paper in February and I got accepted in July, and it will be published in December. Okay, and yearly they publish only 25 articles. They won't charge single penny. So if your work is quality enough, you don't want to depend on some junk journals.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sir, I also wanted to ask one thing, that these sites like ResearchGate and Academia, do they charge some fee for uploading papers?
No. They won't charge it. They won't charge any amount. It is like Facebook. For example, Facebook and LinkedIn for Facebook is for social. What do you call social site? What is that? Social media something. Okay, like that, Facebook. But ResearchGate, Academia, it's for academic professionals. So they won't charge any amount. But while using ResearchGate rigorously, you can get more experience. You will get more friends around the world. That is how I was working as a guest editor in one journal, Frontiers Education. So in that case, by using ResearchGate only, I have received more collaboration from the Iraq and Bolan, and some of my friends are there in Philippines. So we can get different exposure while you are using ResearchGate effectively. So if you use effectively, you will get more experience from ResearchGate. No, they won't charge any amount.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So I think one more thing. My presentation is very simple. It is very concise one. So if you ask more questions, people are having many questions. So if you ask more questions, then we may get more thing. I can share many of my experience.
Sir, your presentation is full of lot of information.
It is very concise. Anyway, it is very concise.
So you have clarified so many things. And first, actually, we are going to collaborate with you. Then only we get to collaborate with Western authors.
Okay.
So you are going to show us that part.
And one more thing. It is from my experience again. So don't hesitate to interact with Western people. Western people are from the people from abroad. They are very friendly. They are not like sorry to say, they are not like Indian. Even they won't think think to call them a sir or professor something. For one of my experience, once I before collaborating with one friend from Bolan, I asked sir and again sir. Simply he said, "Dear Hari, how can I call you? Can I call you as Hari or Hari Garasudan?" Simply I said Hari. So then you don't want to call me as sir. You can simply call me as Seba. So right now he is my friend and he's a senior professor, of course. But they are very friendly and they are very prompt in their correspondence. If you commit, you should be active in that particular area, in that particular time frame. Time management is very important if you're collaborating with Western people. They are very keen on time management. So these things, you will get instant reply. For example, if you send message to some senior JNU professor, I don't know if there is any JNU professors here or not, but anyhow, if you send any message to the JNU professor, you will not get a reply from him even after a week.
Yes,
so if you send a message, maybe WhatsApp message or a text message or emails to them, you will get a reply very immediately. So ResearchGate is a very good forum to meet concerned researchers.
okay.
They are very friendly.
Yeah. So there's a question by Pradeep Kumar Sinha. He wants to know the difference between using citations and works cited. So this is a question by this fellow.
Yeah, citation is nothing but after publishing your work, how many citations you have received. That is citations. So work cited, that is we are giving at the last part of your research paper or the thesis.
Yes.
Reference section is nothing but work cited. But citations, how many citations we are receiving for our work, that is citation.
Yes, and one more question is by Dolly. She's asking, can you name some good journals for social sciences?
There's a journal for social sciences. The journal name is Social Sciences. It is MTBA publishers. They are publishing in a very fast way. That is also Social Sciences. the name of the journal itself is Social Sciences, so you can publish it. But they, I think probably at the beginning they didn't charge any amount, but right now they are charging money for publications. So in that case, you can search some good quality social journals from Simaco ranking that I have shared in my PPT. One second. That I have shared in my PPT. From that PPT, you can identify. Otherwise, you can identify from Simaco Impact Factor Ranking. SCIMAGO. Simaco Impact Factor, Simaco Ranking. SCIMAGO. Simaco Ranking. There you can do filter and all. Then what we are doing for Amazon purchasing, filter and all. So like that kind of options are there for filtering. So after filtering everything, you can find out the journals. Then you can also identify whether it is Q1, Q2, or Q3 or Q4. Then after entering the journal site, whether they are charging money, if you can afford the money, you can go for it. Otherwise, you can skip on to the next journal, the journal which is not receiving any money.
Thank you, sir. And there is one more question. You have answered it already, but still, I hope you can add something more to it. How can we collaborate with Western authors? One, you said that we should collaborate through ResearchGate, and you said that we should prefer to improve our quality with this also, as you did. So can you suggest a few more things that how can we collaborate with Western authors?
Yeah, it's very simple. It's very simple. For example, if you are professor, for example, if you are senior professor, may have some contact with Western people, or may have some contact with any person abroad. So you can ask them if your research area is related to him, then you can collaborate with him. Otherwise, another one thing, I don't know whether how many supervisors are here. If you are a supervisor, if you are a PhD supervisor, we receive external expert list. So from that external experts list, if you are interested in this particular area, you can ask him, I'm working on this area, can you collaborate with us? Like that, you can ask him. And if you are not a supervisor, and if you are not having external experts list, then you can use ResearchGate. Otherwise, you can approach the person who's having contact with Westerners. For instance, for me, in my case, I am dealing with Westerners, and people are approaching me by knowing that he's having connections with Westerners, and they are asking me, and we collaboratively working on it. For example, recently, I'm in the particular journal, Polish Journal of Management Studies. So after identifying my name in that journal, and they have got my name and affiliations, they know that I am from India. So again, the person from India, but he's working in Bahrain right now, and he's asking me, can we collaborate? But so how the circle is going, they know me, I am from India, and he is also Indian. He's working in Bahrain, and we are working. He's from Bahrain, I am from India, and another one from Poland. So we work collaboratively. 3 countries are clubbing together, and we get more things. We get more stuff while we are working. So this is how it's happening. So some of your friends, you can collaborate. I'm always open to collaborate with me. So we can also work together. So it is like sharing of knowledge, informations, ideas. So we can gain many things. It is not limited. It will go beyond the limit. Yes. So I'm open-minded to work together, to collaborative research. We can enrich our knowledge in terms of collaborations. Yes.
You're right, sir. And there's one more question by Naomi Zara. Sir, please suggest a few Scopus journals, those that publish papers within 6 months or less.
6 months is quite possible. Within 6 months, most of the Scopus in the journals are publishing within 6 months. You don't want to worry about that. What is her area of research? Can you please?
Yes, if Naomi Zara, if you are there, please tell us which is your main area of research. I think she's unable to connect with us, perhaps. So,
Ma'am, she has messaged that she is from the Department of English.
okay, she's
Yeah.
from, yeah, she's from the Department of English.
Yeah, so you are from Department of English. You are doing research in English language or English literature?
So please specify whether you are doing research in language or literature. She's from literature, sir.
So literature. In that case, there is a journal. Within 6 months, there are many journals. GEMA, GEMA. I'll type here. GEMA.
GEMA.
Online. It is from Malaysia.
Okay.
And 3L. Sorry. 3L. 3L. That is language linguistic literature. 3L. So most of the Scopus Index journals are publishing within 6 months. You don't want to worry about that. But these journals, GEMO Online and 3L, are receiving some money. But there are some journals, they do not receive money. So that you can find, that you can browse it in the website.
Okay, thank you, sir. I don't see any more questions, I think.
How can we search good journals? So of course you can search good journals from Zimaco Impact Factor, Zimaco journal ranking, SCIAGO. From that website you can find good journals. And can you name some good journals of social sciences? Yeah, social sciences, that is there.
Yes, you have already
How
answered.
can we collaborate with Western authors? You send.
You have answered it already, sir.
Okay. Any other question?
Sir,
Yeah. Yes.
I have one more question. Before getting a paper published in Scopus, is there this is essential that we have the publication in other journals also?
I cannot get your question clearly.
Before getting a paper in Scopus, sir, should we have our papers published in other journals like UGC care list journals or others?
No. It should not be published anywhere. I think your question is
Dolly, please mute your mic now. Dolly, please mute your mic.
Okay.
so.
Yes.
So is this a question? Can we publish the paper before submitting to the Scopus Index journal?
So that will be sort of double
That is
publication.
that is not possible. Not about.
No, it's not a double publication. Like, should we have 10, 15 papers in in other journals for the publication? Like, we have to write before getting published in Scopus.
I cannot get it clearly. Someone can.
Actually, she's saying that before publishing in Scopus, should they publish around 10, 15 times in other journals, like sort of experience?
No, not needed, not necessary. The thing you have to follow very clearly. For instance, they are expecting only few things. Already, that is how I have explained in my PPT. Once again, I'm sharing it again. Already I'm presenting. Can you see my PPT? Can you see my PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the thing. So your method of arranging the content should be in like this in this order. So introduction, literature review, design, findings, discussion, practical implication, originality, limitation. So these are the structure. These are the subtitles you have to maintain in your paper. So there is no need to publish 15 or 10 papers in the junk journals. So after publishing these papers, you have to enter into the Scopus. So that is not necessary. You have to follow this order, and you should avoid plagiarism before submitting it to the before submitting your papers to the Scopus Index journals. You just check plagiarism. Just get a plagiarism report from your institution. Maybe most of the institutions are having authenticate software. So you just get the plagiarism report. Scopus index journals are prefer only the plagiarism percentage less than, similarity percentage less than 20%. So you should have less than 20% of similarity. After that, you can submit. And while submitting it to the Scopus journal, you just check whether they are giving any template. If the journal is giving any template, you have to follow the particular template. So what we are thinking, what English literature and English language people are thinking, we have to follow MLA style. So don't think that MLA style it is for a thesis preparation or something. But journals they are giving their own template. So based on their template, you have to prepare your paper. Then you have to submit it. So if your paper is not in the particular template, they will simply reject it from the first initial round itself. You can go ahead from the initial round itself, no problem. No need to publish more papers, then you don't want to go to the Scopus.
Thank you, sir. So, you answer so well. Actually, I have some sound problem today. Sorry for that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your rich knowledge with us. You talked about many important things, right from construction of our manuscript according to the international standards, then selecting the suitable journals so that our work is not wasted, and how can we publish successfully. Then, of course, you talked about, you shared a number of good journals like Sage, publishers and other journals, and you also cleared what impact factor is. Otherwise, for most of the people, it is a sort of a fancy term, impact factor. How it is calculated, most of the people didn't know.
Actually, the thing is, there are many critical terms to explain it. There are some method, there are some formula. So we don't want to go for the formula. It is very simple. If for the common layman, I'm just telling like a simple. Yeah.
No, but it's good that how it is calculated and how it is selected, like which impact factor is more important. And then you talked about the H index. This is something new to me, I would say, and I-10 index again. So thank you very much for sharing the minute details and all the nuances associated with publication. And definitely, we are going to be after you for again how we can collaborate with the Western authors. First, we are going to collaborate with you because you are already on the panel of so many important journals. So I'm sure in future also you are going to help all the participants over here, including me. So thank you very much for being with us today and sharing your knowledge. Thank you again. We are very much indebted to you. Thank you.
So here, thank you so much, participants. I don't think that whether I'm boring you or not. I'm just sharing my experience. I'm sharing my contacts. If you wish, you can contact me in future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.